What's up, Timmy's here. Now, with The Roses coming out this week, since it's directed by Jay Roach, I decided to go ahead and do my top 10 favorite Jay Roach directed movies. Because he's done some really cool stuff, whether it's comedies, political dramas, and stuff. So, here is my list. Number 10 is Game Changers. Now, this is an HBO film that chronicles John McClane's 2008 presidential campaign. And of course, you got like Julianne Moore as Sarah Palin, Woody Harrelson, Ed Harris. It is really decent. Really showcase like, of course, does showcase like Julianne Moore's rise to becoming like the vice, becoming John McClane's VP. And she does. I mean, Tina Fey is really great as Sarah Palin on SNL, but Julianne Moore definitely nailed it every inch. She really embodies Sarah Palin perfectly. And Game Change is a really nice one. Number 9 is All the Way. This is another like political based film based on a play starring Bryan Cranston as Lyndon B. Johnson, who of course is about his first year focusing on his push for the 1964 Civil Rights Act and political and personal challenges. You got Bryan Cranston as Lyndon B. Johnson, Anthony Mackie as MLK, Melissa Leo as Lady Bird Johnson, Frank Langella, Bradley Whitford, some really great cast members. It definitely has some great dialogue, wonderful performances by Bryan Cranston and Mackie. It is a really good film worth giving a go. Alright, number 8 is a political comedy mostly, and that is The Campaign. The Campaign, of course, stars Will Ferrell and Zach Galifianakis as two rival North politicians who, of course, engage in, hilariously during congressional campaign fueled by corporate money. And you do got, Dan Aykroyd, John Lithgow, Jason Sudeikis, John Goodman makes a cameo, Dylan McDermott. It is a really hilarious political comedy that I feel like probably no one talks about nowadays. But it is really fun. It's hilarious. There is a fun moment where Will Ferrell gets pulled over and he's drunk and stuff. Hilarious scene there. I mean, it's a really fun film. If you guys haven't seen it, go watch it. Alright, speaking of John Lithgow, by the way, number 7 is Bombshell. Bombshell, of course, is based on the real events of female Fox News employees, including Megyn Kelly, Gretchen Carlson, and expose Roger Ellis's toxic culture. And of course, you got Charlize Theron as Megyn Kelly, Nicole Kidman as Gretchen Carlson, Margot Robbie as Anchor Barbie herself, Kala Pessimistly, John Lithgow. I think John Lithgow should have got an Oscar nomination for playing Roger Ellis. He really does such a great job at playing this, despicable guy, despicable CEO and all. And he does such a great job in his parts. Great, obviously, Theron does such a great job. Margot Robbie, Kate McKinnon is in this. Allison Janney. It is it definitely has a little bit of All the President Man feel to it. A really decent film worth giving a go. Alright, number 6 is Trumbo. Now, Trumbo is another film that stars Bryan Cranston as Delta Trumbo. Diane Lane plays his wife. Helen Mirren, John Goodman, Louis C.K., Elle Fanning, Micah Sturberg, many others. And this, of course, stars Bryan Cranston as screenwriter Delta Trumbo, who navigates the toxic 50s Red Scare, finding work, while, of course, working on, pretty much working on classic films here and stuff. It's a really good one. Bryan Cranston, who of course got an Oscar nomination for his performance. He did a great job. Of course, John Goodman's great. Helen Mirren. I'm always a sucker for movies that takes place during 1950s Hollywood. During the golden age of Hollywood. And this is a really decent one. Bryan Cranston, one of his top tier performances as not Walter White, obviously. But yeah, Trumbo is a really good one. Number 5 is Austin Powers and Goldmember. Now, of course, this is where Austin Powers teams up with his father and singer Beyonce as Foxy Cleopatra. She stopped Dr. Evil and new villain Goldmember. And I love Goldmember. Of course, seeing like Mini Me, played by the late great Vern Troyer, teaming up with Mike Myers this time around was pretty fun. I just always get a kick out of Goldmember every time. Of course, Ozzy Osbourne just passed away, so seeing like the cameos by Ozzy Osbourne and his family was pretty fun. You do got some other fun cameos like Tom Cruise, Kevin Spacey, Danny DeVito, John Travolta, many others. Like, if you're talking about Happy Gilmore 2 having tons of cameos, these movies also have some, fun cameos throughout there too. So, yeah, Goldmember is just a really good one. Not many people like Goldmember, really, which is unfortunate, but I always get kicked out of Goldmember whenever I rewatch it. Alright. Number 4 is Meet the Fockers. Of course, this is a follow up to Meet the Parents, and obviously Jay Roach did not come back for the other one, and he's not returning for the fourth one coming out next year. But I really quite like Meet the Fockers. This time around you got Greg Focker and his fiancee Pam, who brings her like uptight parents to meet his eccentric, free spirited parents in Florida. And of course, you got Dustin Hoffman and Barbara Streisand playing Ben Stiller's parents. Meet the Fockers is definitely some really like fun stuff to watch. I always get a kick out of it. Ben Stiller, Robert De Niro, Blythe Danner, Terry Polo is all good. It's Dustin Hoffman is always amazing. I mean, it's a really good sequel. Can't wait for the next one when that comes out. Number 3 is Meet the Parents. Now, of course, Meet the Parents is the first installment, which got released in 2000, with Greg Focker as male nurse who faces a weekend meeting his girlfriend's ex-CIA father Jack. Some really funny lines. I mean, Robert De Niro and Ben Stiller play off each other perfectly here. Owen Wilson is great. It is like lots of fun mishaps here. The cat always cracks me up. I mean, I always get a kick out of Meet the Parents every time I rewatch it. Alright. Number 2 is Austin Powers International Man of Mystery. Now, of course, this is the first installment of Austin Powers, where like Austin, who is frozen in the 1960s, and he awakens in the 90s to stop his arch nemesis Dr. Evil's plan to world ransom with nuclear weapons. You got Elizabeth Hurley, Micah York as Basil, Mimi Rogers, Seth Green. International Man of Mystery is a really hilarious one. Of course, the Austin Powers movies I just love in general. They are just a lot of fun to check out. I gotta rewatch these movies sometime. I always get a kick out of them. It's just really entertaining to watch all the time. Doctor Evil, one of the funniest all-time villains there is. I mean, it's just a great one, and I just fingers crossed we got a fourth one. But anyway, and my number 1 favorite Jay Roach movie is The Spy Who Shagged Me. I know people probably say International Man of Mystery is the best. I will always go with Spy Who Shagged Me. I actually rewatched this movie a little more than the original. I love The Spy Who Shagged Me. Of course, Heather Graham. I had a huge crush on Heather Graham when I saw her in this movie. I mean, who did not love Heather? People will probably say they had a crush on Heather Graham thanks to Boogie Nights. Me, it was The Spy Who Shagged Me. Come on, who did? I saw I had a crush on her when I was around like a young age where I was not supposed to be attracted to like adult women. But yeah, Spy Who Shagged Me is just such a great one. Of course, the introduction to Vern Troyer as Mini-Me is great. Of course, the Jerry Springer cameo is terrific. I just always get a kick out of this. It's just a lot of fun. I think that's why I prefer Spy Who Shagged Me, because the first International Man of Mystery is good. It did not feature Mini-Me. Like, obviously, Mini-Me was not introduced until Spy Who Shagged Me. I think that's why me and so many people do prefer Spy Who Shagged Me, because it does have Mini-Me in it. And as much as I would love to see a fourth one, it's still going to be a shame. Like, it will probably be a shame. Probably won't be the same without Vern Troyer back. I remember when he passed away, I've always loved Vern Troyer, and I was so sad when he passed away. Because he really made Mini-Me. I mean, Mini-Me and Austin Powers, or Mini-Me and Dr. Evil's back and forth, teaming up was just a great. And of course, the scene where, of course, Mini-Me, in space and taking like his like little fight with Austin Powers always cracks me up. Obviously, Fat Bastard is great. I mean, it's just a great one, and I just love this franchise. Fingers crossed we get a fourth one, but who knows? Anyway, that's pretty much it there. Here is my quick rundown. Number 10, Game Change. 9, All the Way. 8, The Campaign. 7, Bombshell. 6, Trumbo. 5, Austin Powers and Goldmember. 4, Meet the Fockers. 3, Meet the Parents. 2, International Man of Mystery. And number 1, Austin Powers and Spy Who Shagged Me. Now there's loads of other ones, like Mystery Alaska is a pretty good one. His worst probably is Dinner for Schmucks. Remember that one with Steve Carell, Paul Rudd, Zach Galifianakis, Jeff Dunham was in that one. That wasn't so good. He's also directed other HBO movies like let's see what else. Recount with Kevin Spacey, and Coastal Elites he did on during the lockdown. He's also produced stuff like 50 First Dates, Hitchhikers, Borat. He is actually producing the next. He did of course produce Little Fockers, and he's actually a producer on the next one. So at least has that. But let me ask you guys, what are some of your favorite Jay Roach movies? Directed movies, as. Drop comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell for notification. This is Human Sire.